What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with our sister here, Aliyah Shipman. Now, I want you to hear her story. Now, she is trying to compete for Haiti in the Olympics in Taekwondo. And I'm definitely a big believer of, women should learn martial arts. But I want you to hear Aliyah's story because the United States, once again, is on some BS. And you will see how dirty they are. But we'll let Aliyah tell her story. But Aliyah, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Aliyah, just before we get into your story, can you tell us just a little bit about, your background, and how you end up getting into Taekwondo?
Well, I started Taekwondo when I was 9 years old. I was kind of chubby as a kid, so my mom, she wanted to put me in a physical sport. And then she put me in Taekwondo because there was a school right by my house, and I just fell in love with it.
Okay, all right. So when did you get to the point where you wanted to really get competitive? What age?
I did my first competition when I was 10 years old. And even though it was just a small competition, the feeling like when I won was so great that I knew I just wanted to keep doing it.
Okay. So you got to the point that you got good enough where you can even get to the point where you can start competing in the Olympics. I know you had to really be pretty good for that.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question, just real quick.
Yeah.
So when did you start actually, how does that process work to get to the point where you can qualify for an Olympic team? How does that work?
Well, that works. You have to be on a national team, and then your national team has to pick you to send you to the Olympic qualification tournament, which Team Haiti, they picked me to go to the Olympic qualification tournament. I went to that tournament, which that tournament consists of the best athletes in the countries in the Pan American region, because I did the Pan American qualification tournament. And then you have to win your division. You have to be top 2 to go to the Olympics. And then I was top 2. I beat all my fights to get to the Olympics.
Okay. So now on your post, you talked about the United States Olympic, committee.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to block you right now behind the scenes from competing for Haiti. Now, just so people can know, what is your connection to Haiti?
My dad's side of the family is Haitian. So then in 2019, I wanted to fight for Haiti. I had previously been a U.S. national team member, but I was having some problems. They weren't treating the athletes so fairly. That's what I thought, in my opinion. So then I wanted to go to Team Haiti.
Okay, so you went to the Haitians, and you was like, okay, look, I want to compete. I have lineage to Haiti through my father. And how was Haiti's reception of you?
They were very accepting. They gave me a chance to compete in their national competition because I couldn't just go and be on the team. I had to actually go to the national competition and win that and then get my spot on the team.
Okay, so you won, you got your spot on the team. They're saying, all right, Aliyah, welcome to the team. You all good. I hope you could win some gold for Haiti. So then once you getting all excited about Tokyo, then what happened?
Well, right after I won my Olympic qualification tournament, the United States Olympic Committee decided to start fighting me to stop me from competing in Tokyo. However, they never even tried to stop me before this Olympic qualification tournament. They could have. I competed in several different competitions under Haiti before going to the Olympic qualification. They never tried to stop me until I actually qualified for the Olympics. And at that point, they said that, Haiti is taking American athletes. So then they kept putting pressure on the Haiti Olympic Committee until the Haiti Olympic Committee took my name off of the Olympic registration list.
Wow. So let's talk about how could they pressure Haiti to do something like that? Like what they just called up and say she can't participate with you guys?
Yeah, basically America, the U.S. Olympic Committee and just America in general gives a lot of aid to Haiti. So then they basically said, we're going to stop giving you guys aid. We're going to stop helping you out if you don't take me off of the Olympic registration list.
So you mean to tell me it got to politics, basically?
Exactly. That's the reason why I can't go to the Olympics, because of politics. I did not break any rules.
How do they go that deep with it behind? So I've been seeing the trend, Aliyah, of how Black women have been targeted in this Olympic cycle. Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen a lot of that.
So you had how the one sister, they said that she had too much testosterone. Now she was on anything,
That was
right?
crazy.
What was her name?
I wasn't sure of her name, but I saw it. They said that she naturally had too much testosterone, and then like that's not an excuse to take someone out of the Olympics. That's her body. I forgot her name, but I did see the story.
Yeah. She's a African sister. I don't know if she's from Namibia or where's she from, but then you got a whole man that's taking drugs to lower his testosterone, and he could be in the Olympics. So he's transgender, but yet a natural Black woman. And who comes up with these testosterone rules anyway? I mean, she wasn't doping or anything. Yeah. And then, of course, we've seen the Sha'Carri Richardson situation that happened. And we look at that. Now, her suspension was supposed to come around the time of the relays. Ended, and they still say, nope, she ain't going to Tokyo. Yep. So what is there any other stories that you have heard, like that's happening to Black women that maybe we haven't heard, nationally?
Well, I heard that they were not letting, like the swim caps, they weren't allowing the swim caps to be the size of maybe like African Americans, Black people who have like large hair. They weren't adjusting the swim caps to their need. They were saying that level or that size of swim cap is not allowed in the competition. I saw that as well.
Oh yeah, and then they had this company called, I think, Soul Cap or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. That they say, hey, well, we got the special ones, and they say no, it's not approved. Yeah. That's just God, that's crazy. So how do you feel about you basically being the target of the government of the United States? Because really, when you start mentioning aid and all of that, now that's the government at that point. Yeah. That's just not the U.S. Olympic Committee. So how do you feel like literally being targeted by the government to say, well, we're not going to give you aid if you let Aliyah Shipman compete with you? How do you feel about that?
Well, it makes me feel all types of ways. Of course, I feel horrible because I can't go to the Olympics, and I've been training so hard since like summer of 2020 for this event. But also just makes me feel like how powerful that I can be for a whole government to write pages and pages of law documents and all of this just to stop me, an 18-year-old, to get me out of the Olympics. It just makes me feel like, okay, I have the power to do something, like powerful enough for them to try to stop me, to take me out of the Olympics. Like, that is crazy.
And you're an American citizen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you had kind of mentioned before about something about they saying that other countries are taking their athletes. You mentioned something like that. Could you explain that mindset? I mean, because it kind of sounds like some old plantation, like we own them type of deal. Like, could you explain that mindset?
Yeah, exactly what you said was correct. America has so many good athletes, and they don't even use most of them. And I feel like they weren't treating me my best, and that's why I left to another country. And now they're saying, oh, she's not allowed to go to another country. We don't like how Haiti's taking America's athletes. And I swear they're specifically targeting Haiti because another boy, he qualified for the Olympics, and he used to fight for the United States. He's my age. He qualified for the Olympics for Hungary, a country in Europe, and they allowed him to go to the Olympics. So they do just have a problem with Haiti.
Okay, now I'm just curious. I mean, what is the race of the young man?
He's Black, but I don't know. They have something targeted against Team Haiti in their Olympic program.
Okay, so because Hungary is a white country, so they're cool with that, but they just wasn't cool with Haiti.
Yeah.
Okay, now so basically, now what did the United States tell you? Like when you say, well, when you reached out, did you reach out to them and say, what's the problem?
So they basically told me that I broke a rule that says I had to wait 3 years before switching to another country. However, when you're 16 and younger, that rule doesn't apply. And I was 16 when I switched to Team Haiti. So they're basically trying to like get me on a rule that I didn't even break. And that's what they're saying to the public is why they're not sending me to the Olympics, because I broke some rule that doesn't even apply to me.
Okay, so but they're not saying that part of it though, right?
No, to the public, they're not saying the part about that how Haiti there is like a threat to them that they're taking American athletes, but they have said it to like me and my team, like my legal team and everything. They haven't said it to the public, but they have said it to us, like personally.
Okay, so basically, what you like in the business world, that's called a non-compete clause.
Yes.
And that's basically what they do to athletes, make them sign a non-compete clause.
Yeah, they didn't even make me sign that. They're still trying to go through the process of taking me out of the Olympics, and they actually strategically put this case against me so late. They actually started putting the real pressure on me just 1 month ago, like right before the Olympics, so that I wouldn't have any time to fight the case before I can fight at the Olympics.
So is your family like, have they retained an attorney? Are they fighting that way?
Yes, they have.
Okay, but you say because you know how slow court is. By the time they probably finish all the fighting, can the judge put any kind of temporary injunction to allow you to compete if possible?
They tried to fight for what is it, like a speedy trial. They requested that, but the United States Olympic Committee denied it. They weren't
Wow.
agreeing to do it.
Wow. God, that's man. So basically you're gonna miss the whole Olympics.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. So you're young. Are you going to fight just professionally then?
Yeah. Am I gonna fight professionally?
What I mean by professional, like, you know, like at least let's say track athletes. Athletes can run professional, which they run all over the world and getting paid or whatever. So I don't know if it's like that in the Taekwondo world. That's why I'm just asking.
Yeah, Taekwondo is the same way. There's like world championships and stuff like that. But I do really want to go to the next Olympics as well. But I'm gonna keep doing every tournament that comes, like any tournament.
Okay. So supposedly you broke this rule. So if you go to the next Olympics, which would that be the ones in LA? Not mistaken?
That will be Paris.
Oh, Paris. Okay. So when is it coming to LA? The one after that?
Yes.
Okay. I guess 2028, I guess.
Yeah.
LA. Okay. So will you be able to fight for Haiti in the next one?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you feel about just in general how America has treated you since you're a citizen, you know, and everything? How did you feel like your own country treated you? I mean, do you feel like you want to like even live here anymore? How do you feel?
It feels horrible that I don't even know how they can do that. It's so political. It's so disgusting. It just makes me lose all my respect for the United States Olympic Committee and how they run their, I don't know, how they run their program. It's just not fair at all to the athletes.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is the things that you do not, you know, see and hear. And on this program, we talk about the reach of racism and white supremacy. It's global because they should not even be putting their hands in anything with Haiti. You understand? Exactly. I mean, that's a sovereign nation. And if this sister who has a Haitian father, she has lineage and connection to Haiti, why can't she fight for definitely fight for Haiti? Why can't she? You see, so it's just not different black athletes has had crazy things happen to them in the track world. Now you're hearing it in the martial arts world. So, you know, what's next for you, Aliyah? Now, I mean, it sounds like you can't go to Tokyo. What's next?
Well, this whole situation, it definitely lit a fire under me. The competitions begin again in December. Some have been canceled because of COVID, but I'm just planning on going to every competition that I can, winning everything so that I can just prove to them that you try to do this to me, but you can't stop me.
Yeah, you know what? And keep that fire that you got. Keep it, because let me tell you something. Every time someone tried to stop you or even try to stop me in my life, I always got more fire underneath me. And now I'll say, oh, now I'm really going to show you. So like I said, train even harder, try to win every competition that you have out there. Then when it comes around next time, win that gold, for Haiti. And just make sure. I don't know. I'm kind of petty. I like, and I want to dedicate this to United States Olympic Committee that blocked me in Tokyo. I say, see, I got it anyway. That's what I would tell them, because
exactly what I'm gonna say.
yeah, you got to be petty sometime. All this decorum, forget a decorum. They wasn't decorum with you. They did you dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, Aliyah, like I said, it was. I hate that because athletes work out so hard, they train for years, and just this one people can just make a decision basically and pressure Haiti, who already in a turmoil right now because the president got assassinated. So I guess all that came at the wrong time, right? But if anybody wanted to reach out or give support, how can people get in contact with you?
If you want to support me, you can just share my story. You can also sign my petition. I have a petition on change.org. It's called Aliyah Olympics. And you can also email the United States Olympic Committee telling them how you feel about my situation.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, Aliyah is going to pass us the information about who to email. And we'll put that below in the pinned comment. And also she'll share with us her change.org if you want to sign that to help out our sister and share her story. Because you see how dirty, that the U.S. Olympic Committee is being. But like I said, it wasn't just the situation Sha'Carri. It is also this sister too. So Aliyah, like I said, you stay up. Don't let these people keep you down. You just train harder and win every competition you can, because just because it's no in Tokyo don't mean it's going to be no, later. And then you're not going to be able to even have no fans show up in Tokyo from what I'm hearing now. So at the end of the day, it'd probably be better for you the next one.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Thank you so much.